because those 3 words were contained in my letter to the editor, I clicked on as a victim and saw that it actually was the letter to the editor that I had written, but I had not called it as a victim. Don't get me wrong, I am glad that the North Coast Journal published my letter to the editor, but because of what they called it, I now have to record this official press release video to address and to debunk the false claim that I wrote a letter to the editor titled "As a Victim." Of course, I did not call my letter to the editor as a victim. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I'm not allowed to say what I called it on YouTube. So I will address this issue in more detail on my alternative channel. But to put it plainly and simply, I did write that letter to the editor, but I did not call it that. They called it that because they thought that that would cause people to make fun of me. In fact, it will probably cause a lot more people to read it who normally wouldn't have read it. I'm now going to show it to you and talk about it briefly inside my house. This is what I saw when I woke up this morning and started to read the news online. If you are unaware, I always start out by reading our local news from Humboldt County, California, where I live. I saw one of the 4 letters to the editor was called "As a Victim," and right next to it was an advertisement for a lawyer who will help you if you have been an injury victim. Because those 3 words were contained in my letter to the editor, I clicked on "as a victim" and saw that it actually was the letter to the editor that I had written, but I had not called it as a victim. I was also surprised to see that they had published it because they had sent me seemingly sarcastic emails and posted comments in response to my comments on Facebook saying that they could not publish this letter because I hadn't stated my city, causing me to make numerous sarcastic responses stating my city, including several where I quoted Fish's song "Cities," which is actually a Talking Head song, and said things like, "The North Coast Journal couldn't find my city." I wrote this letter in response to this article written by Cal Matters that the North Coast Journal published, which they continue to link to in other articles, including this one, as you can see right here, and also in response to articles like this and political cartoons like this, written and drawn by their reporters who have blocked me on social media. Anyway, back to my letter to the editor. I cannot read this letter to the editor to you because it contains words that I am not allowed to say on YouTube, and is in fact about a topic that I am most likely not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But you can pause the screen and read it for yourself, or Google it and find it very easily. I would like to mention that at the bottom of my letter to the editor, they fact-checked what I said, as you can see. I would also like to mention that I posted this comment mentioning what my letter to the editor was originally called, which they deleted. I am going to repost it. I am not sure if my comment will stay there. Please let me know in the comment section of this video, if you read this article, if my comment is there. By the way, my letter to the editor was as long as many of the North Coast Journal's original news articles, and way longer than their normal letters to the editor. Okay, I have reposted my comment. Let me know if it stays there, people. Anyway, I would like to mention that the opinion that I was disagreeing with in my letter to the editor is not just an opinion being promoted by the North Coast Journal or other California newspapers. In fact, it is part of not only a nationwide push, but also an international push to promote that same opinion, which is one that I vehemently disagree with, because it not only causes people in the previous category to be considered the bad part of society, but people in the previous category considered to be the good part of society to now be grouped in with the supposed bad people that they were told to hate and discriminate against for like the last year or more. I would also like to mention that by changing the title of my article, letter to the editor, the North Coast Journal actually really helped to promote people reading it. At least 5 people have told me that they are so disgusted with the North Coast Journal and other local news medias reporting about a certain issue that they go out of their way not to read articles published by those media outlets about that issue. By removing the reference to that issue in the title of my letter to the editor, and by using a quote including a trigger word instead, they effectively incentivized all of the people in Humboldt County, California and elsewhere who read their news articles, who never would have normally clicked on it and read it, to click on it and read it. So while I am upset that they changed the well thought out title of my article, I appreciate that what they changed it to gave me more publicity. Thank you, North Coast Journal, for publishing my letter to the editor. I'm going to end this video by telling you an interesting fact about this plant behind me. This is Carpobrodus edulis, and like many plants with the name edulis, it is edible. What's interesting about this plant is that it's growing in California.
Can I tell you about my interesting experience?
In 1 minute, because what's interesting about this plant is that it's native to South Africa, but it's growing all over the state of California because Caltrans planted it thinking it would stabilize the cliff sides. They then paid people to pull it out because it's invasive in the state of California, but it's also edible, and most people around here do not know that, including people who eat dandelion leaves and stuff. So if you see this plant, you can pull it out and eat it, and the state of California won't mind. They won't be like, nah, 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 don't pull plants off the beach. They want people to pull this off the beach, so you can help to get rid of it by eating it. Or you can also plant it in your own yard, if you'd rather not get it from the side of the road or the beach and eat it. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, and subscribe to my channels.
Can I tell you about my experience?
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
And please also comment on this video. Bye, people.
Sorry.